Welcome back to Odyssey News. I am Mike Odyssey, and today let's continue the conversation on this next-gen console coming up later this year, along with other news in the world of Nintendo. I think it's time to get started.
Welcome to the Odyssey. Hit the like, press play. You're running with the squad like Xenoblade. Drive like Mario, we on a...
And I am happy to announce that we are on our way to 30K, in which we will also be giving away a Splatoon or Pokemon Edition Nintendo Switch OLED here on the channel. So all you gotta do is subscribe, turn on that bell notification to enter. All right, guys, so first up, I would like to let you know that, guess what? From now on, I will be covering every single little detail regarding Nintendo's next-gen console. So basically, I will do research underwater. I will go over the clouds. I will go everywhere to find you information on Nintendo's next-gen console so you can actually get that information here first. So if you are interested in knowing everything about Nintendo's potential next-gen console, go ahead and subscribe so you stay up to date with all your next-gen console Odyssey news. All right, so first up in rapid fire news, Splatoon just received their update to 3.0.0, which also adds support for Inkopolis. So if you have purchased that DLC, you can now travel from Splatville back to Inkopolis as well. So there you have it there. Go ahead and update to 3.0.0. Next up is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And yes, we just had the Pokemon Presents yesterday, and an update version to 1.2.0 patch has been released. So go ahead and update your Pokemon Scarlet and Violet now. No major updates or additions have been released there, but we do have some DLC. If you pre-order your DLC, then you get access to special uniforms, and I think that is available now. So go ahead, and if you are interested in getting that DLC early on to get those uniforms, go ahead and get them now. So that's the update for that. Also, in the world of Pokemon, the DLC expansion packs have been confirmed yesterday for the fall of 2023 and the winter of 2023, along with Pokemon Home, the app that allows you to transport your Pokemon between games. And there are certain Pokemons you can actually transfer from Pokemon Go over to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And of course, Pokemon from previous games that you have played, you can also bring them along with you to use your Scarlet and Violet Pokedex. So that is that for that. Miyamoto talks about what would life be like at Nintendo if he just walked away today. And surprisingly, nothing would actually change, because Nintendo has had the same DNA for many, many years. And as he's been part of the company, he confirmed that everybody within the company has the same DNA, the same mentality, the same love and passion for the world of Nintendo and game development. So yeah, I mean, he's behind Nintendo 100%, and he's behind one of the best franchises when it comes to their IPs. I mean, he's responsible for the success of Nintendo, Super Mario, Legend of Zelda, and a lot of other franchises. And of course, if he left today, I think Nintendo would continue, because guess what? Miyamoto did the change that he would actually make. And of course, right now, he's not really developing games like he used to back in the day. Now he's more like the face of Nintendo, rather than just kind of being, getting its hands dirty behind the scenes. So yeah, Nintendo, it will be the same tomorrow as it is today, because Miyamoto has already made his mark, and his mark will continue to live forever. All right, so that is it for Rapid Fire News. Let's go into our two stories for today. All right, story number one, guys. There is a massive sale going on at the eShop, and I personally believe that this sale that is going on right now has to do with a lot of developer companies acknowledging that we are in the last year of the Nintendo Switch life cycle, and that they need to make sales on this Nintendo Switch in order to basically kind of, try to recuperate some last effort income for these games on the Nintendo Switch eShop, right? Because once the next gen console comes out, then all focus will be on that eShop for that new next gen console. And I have good news for you. There is backwards compatibility is happening with the next gen console. So you can take advantage of the sale that is going on now with the Nintendo eShop and just build your library, right? Because even if you buy the next gen console, all these games will travel with you to the next gen console. Now that is basically kind of like a backward compatibility and more like a forward compatibility. There is no evidence yet whether the new games that come out on the next gen console will be compatible with the Nintendo Switch. But what we know so far from the evidence out there, from we've heard from Miyamoto, we've heard from Furukawa, that backwards compatibility from the games that we own now on the Switch will probably do work. There's a big chance that they will work on the next gen console. So hey, take advantage of this sale going on. Amazing sale. Even Star Wars The Skywalker Saga for $59 is only $17. All right, so let's move on to the last piece of news of the day. All right, so for my commitment on bringing you the latest and greatest news when it comes to the next gen console, which by the way, I'm going to be doing from now on. This channel will be your #1 source for next gen news. I want to go ahead and expand on what we heard yesterday when it comes to the leaker. Basically, this developer who worked on Pokemon games, they basically leaked out the entire list of the announcements for Pokemon Presents, but they did it on the 24th. Pokemon Presents happened yesterday, the 27th, and they leaked out this information on the 24th. Now, this piece of information all by itself really means nothing, but because it comes from somebody who literally just stated the entire Pokemon Presents right before that and added this little note at the end of that leak, then that's why the internet, that's why us content creators and news media journalists are taking it seriously, just because of basically when you do a prediction, right, and you have a list of things that you are talking about, and at the end of that list, first thing, everything else before that comes true. And then that very last one is still something that needs to happen in the future. You're going to keep your eye on that little part right there. Now, when it comes to the next-gen console, experts in the world of journalism when it comes to gaming, they believe that this is an incremental upgrade rather than a fully next-gen console, right? Furukawa, 2022, he said that the Nintendo Switch was in the middle of their life cycle, right? And this was said last year, guys. It hasn't been that long since Furukawa said the middle of their life cycle. And basically, if true, he would have said that at the 5th year mark, meaning that they plan on making the Switch brand a 10-year life cycle. So if this is true, then basically what we will be expecting for the next gen console would be an incremental upgrade, meaning a hardware upgrade, an internal spec upgrade, in order to kind of play higher graphical games, bring more games into the Nintendo Switch line of system, bring more games from third parties, and Nintendo develop better games for that console itself. Now, if this is true, one would not need to worry if you are a current gen Switch holder, either the Switch OLED or the base model, because Nintendo will keep the line of Switch games going on, and they will be forward compatible and backwards compatible. But there was leaked information in the world of Nintendo when it comes to the next gen console, and this was due to Microsoft's attempt to buy Activision Blizzard, right? Nintendo's not part of this, but because of Nintendo's online service, they were addressed in this matter, and this had to do with UK's Competition and Market Authority. When they were talking about Nintendo's online service, they were stating that this Nintendo online service would be available on the Switch device and redacted. So basically, this redacted little area there looks to be the next gen console's name. Now, if it was Nintendo Switch, right? If Nintendo would have kept the Nintendo Switch, why redact it? Right? Why would they redact this little section of that title if Nintendo were to keep the same Nintendo Switch branding and name? This tells us that Nintendo's next gen brand will be different from the Nintendo Switch name, And yeah, it will probably not be an incremental upgrade, but a full-fledged next-gen console. So now what we have now is the leak from this new person who basically just gave out the information regarding the update for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which will be launched next to the new hardware. And that's what we have right now. There was another leak or another information regarding the Joy-Cons and the brand new technology that was behind that, but I have to do a little more research to bring you that information. I just want to make sure that this is a credible source, that this information seems real, in order to bring it to you before I even touch it. All right, guys, that is going to do it for today's episode of Odyssey News. Let me know what you guys think down below. Are you excited for this transition year that we are in? I know that it's a light year when it comes to games. Yes, we have Tears of the Kingdom, the most anticipated game of the year, but it's still a light year when it comes to game releases, right? We don't have a lot of new IPs. We have ports, and Nintendo's working something behind the scenes that we are kind of almost ready to see. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's episode. But before I let you go, I want to let you know two very important things. Number one, never, ever give up. And number two, journey on. Peace.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without what's been holding us back now.